popular South American restaurant in Concord says it was slammed with a discrimination lawsuit, and after tens of thousands of dollars in legal fees, it's going to be shutting down. As KRON 4's Jack Molmud reports, that lawsuit is being called predatory.
So walk up to Lima Restaurant here in downtown Concord, and the first thing you'll see is a sign that says they will be permanently closed starting December 31st. They cite operating costs as a major factor as to why they're closing down, but also a discrimination lawsuit that they say has tanked them by tens of thousands of dollars.
Extremely shocked, yeah, because when I go to other states, I see ladies' night everywhere, but we were extremely shocked when we first got the lawsuit.
John Marquez and his family from Peru run Lima Restaurant, serving up lomo saltado and other rich and savory South American dishes. For years, they ran a promotion for women.
We used to offer 50% off drinks to ladies.
Marquez says his family believes they were preyed upon by people who aren't even local and taking advantage of California's laws meant to promote equity.
It was an out-of-state people, and they came over here to this state to get away with that kind of frivolous lawsuit.
The lawsuit cited discrimination by only offering discounts to women. It ended up dragging along and costing the restaurant anywhere from $40,000 to $70,000.
It was our winter reserves. Summer we're super busy, but and we save all that money for winter because it's a little slow season, and then that money was taken away.
That's not easy money for a family-owned restaurant that was able to survive the pandemic and multiple shops in this downtown square shutting down.
Yeah, we were making enough, but the lawsuit took a lot of that away. So then once we announced it, all of our regular patrons came in and helped us out, and they're here for one last time, and we have a lot of regulars, so they've helped us out tremendously.
It's also a busy restaurant, lots of returning customers. It will be missed.
Promoting one gender does not discriminate against the other gender.
John Diaz and Mel Ladhazy are longtime customers. They're taking in their last drinks at Lima.
Hello, I'm a lady, so it's like if I want to go with my girls, it doesn't seem like a rude thing to do.
On what locals call one of a kind.
Since COVID, this whole square has just kind of been shut down. Concord's all strip malls, and this is the one spot that's not. And so it's really
it's fun to come down here.
Reporting in Concord, Jack Molmud, KRON 4 News.
I want to give all the praises and the honor to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Racha HaKodash, and double honors to the elder apostles and the bishops of Great Millstone. Honors as well to the other elders, you brethren, your fellow believers of this truth, and shalom to the elect. So anyway, this is kind of raw. I ran into this early. I just got back, and I said I'll do a quick video on this situation with the ladies' night. Right? They're shutting down. There's a discrimination lawsuit. They now have a men's rights activist group. I was wondering how long that was going to take. And they make you look, to be manly, kind of, to stand up, to be a man for rights. Society will make you seem like you're a weak person for trying to stand up what was doing right, for men, so-called. And that's the stigma that's been put on society, to say, okay, if you want male rights, you're a coward because women are the one need the rights. I don't think so. The women got a court system set up to, whenever something goes wrong for them, for instance, they're allowed to have an abortion. Although that's your seed, that spermia, that seed, the XYY chromosome comes from you. That is the male seed in that woman's stomach. But society set it up, the system set it up, that they are able to control that seed. So we got to understand, women don't really have the power, right? Those elitists is the ones that give them the power to do what they do. Because at the end of the day, they still have to go to them and vote for certain people to have the rights and the privilege to do these things, right? And then they're put in a predicament, going back to the Housing Act and the Protection of Women Act. You know what happened when the government steps in to protect women? Now the women feel like we don't need men to protect us. And even on the outskirts of that, you got the simps, right? When these women turn up and act like banshees and crazed animals, right? The simps come rushing on in. I don't know where they get the capes from, right? But they rush on in and try to protect something that's already protected by a system. All right, this is crazy. So we see the downfall, right, of this feminist, all this. The Lord, this 2025, man, the Lord is going to turn things up. Revelation 18:7. How much? Talking about Babylon, but guess what? This goes to the Queen of Heaven. This goes, especially you Eves, man, you so-called black woman, right? Especially you. You know, the white woman, she's all about feminists and their rights, equality, right? But they'll still be with their men and be in the support of their men some kind of way. Not Eve. Eve, her lover is the serpent, right? Anyway, how much she have glorified herself and lived deliciously, right? So much torment and sorrow give her. Do you know if you go to any establishment now, when you really pay attention to the whole spectrum of the workforce, all women in there, man. Even the workforces, I remember the women's rights activists wanted to fight to get women to work in auto shops. They working in Jiffy Lube now. They're working in part stores. And then I go into the part store with these heavy parts, say alternator or something heavy that may be hard for them to lift, right? They'll go get a man to climb the ladder and do it. So wait a minute, where the hell is the equality at? All this equality. But when it comes to do the work that a man is that a man does, they get to take the back seat, and the man steps up in so-called chivalry and do it. This makes it unequaled. So there's no more equal rights. The woman really has the power upper hand. Who built that bar, right? Who brings those drinks in there, man, for everybody to have a good time, right? Who does that? And this man, Jake, all he wants to do is use the woman to benefit and make money. It's still, even our feminism, you can still see that they still have to roll under a certain kind of order. Anyway, it says, how much she have glorified herself. Yes, she has. And lived deliciously. You women who got the entitlements of the world, the Housing Act and the SNAP benefits, right? So much torment and sorrow give her. So when you see a woman, this might be a little ramble session, but when you see a woman that is allowed to keep the child, and you understand that the state owns the child, do you know the woman really don't have rights to the child, nor does the father, so they have to go to court and determine who's the best care for the child. So the woman would have to be predominantly, right, unable or unfit to take care of this child before they allow the father to take the child. This is how sick this society is, man. And honestly, they're supposed to have it as infants, you know, when they're young like that. But the benefits, it still benefit them, right? Then they take the child support out of the man's check, and then they spend it on whatever they want to spend it on. And you know, these elites, they know this. This ain't like they don't understand what's going on. They understand that this further destroys the family. They know what's going on. Understand a woman is the weaker vessel. So they manipulate the woman, give her entitlements, give her rights, let her run amok, right? And then you're going to have a totally destroyed nation of people, man. It says, for she saith in her heart, talking about Babylon here, I said a queen, am no widow, shall see no sorrow. This is what these Eves are saying, man. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death, mourning, and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord Yahweh that judgeth her, man. That's why the judgment is going to come on these women and their mindsets. Now they all upset because they don't get 50% off for being women. First of all, the men is the one when it was profitable is when they got the 50% off the ladies' night, like I believe like Kool and the Gang sang, right? And all the women would come to the club, and some would get in free and have price. You were entitling them then. You was using their own sexuality to gain advantage to bring other men in to make money, really like pimping. And that's what they were doing. And it worked. But out of all that wickedness they've been doing and destroying their families and destroying themselves, reckoning their years, they don't have men there to go with them in these lady nights clubs no more. So this ladies night madness is going to be done with. So now what's going to happen, what this man is not telling you, is they're coming in there for 50% off, but they're not making any money because there's no men coming in with them. So it's not going to work anyway. So at the end of the day, all that 50% off of you women in those clubs and those bars is going to stop. The reason why the owners promote that 50% off, because they're hoping you'll bring a man in and buy more drinks. And a lot of you are alone. Anyway, let's go further. Isaiah, no, let me go here. I don't want to make this long. Was it Isaiah 13? I had a couple of scriptures. I only had a few scriptures. Isaiah 32:9. Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Right. Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Many days and years shall be troubled. Ye shall be troubled, ye careless woman. For the vintage shall fail, and the gathering shall not come. Right. And this is the start of it. This is why I brought that scripture out. Rise up. See, you're going to find out that you were beguiled by the serpent. And when all those entitlements and all those benefits stop, then you're going to see. And in some of you, it's going to be too late. Right? It says, rise up, you be troubled, you be complacent. It meaning to trust. Your vintage. Right? Let's see what that says. It doesn't say much on it. From the root, meaning to gather or to cut off, right? The vintage primarily refers to grape harvest or vintage, right? Okay, there we go, makes sense. It is used in context to gather grapes, which was significant agricultural activity in ancient Israel, right? The word can also imply to produce of the grape harvest, such as wine, right? So basically, you have benefited, and what you don't realize, the part you claim you benefited from, or what you think you benefited from, was actually designed to destroy you. These elitists, these think tanks, they sat there and said, well, wait a minute, let's give it to the woman, let's hook them up, let's give them everything, let's destroy them. If we destroy them, we can destroy the whole family. So you took the bait. You don't understand that you're supposed to have a leader. You're supposed to have a head. And half of you are mad at men that you raised to be simps. And that's why these men run to the rescue. And you know what the woman will say? You got a mama. Well, that don't mean my mama was right either. That's why the Lord is only dealing with the elect, man. The Lord is only dealing with the elect. Let's go to Isaiah 13. Again, I don't want to make this long. It says, behold, the day of the Lord cometh, cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, right? And he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it, right? You know damn well in the time of the Messiah, there was no goddamn ladies' night. At least not at the time he was walking in, or what he could see. But who knows? There was simps back then too. You always had simps. Using women to gain advantage and make money. And their property, right? So you see, I see the concept, 50% off, you know, for all the ladies. And you know, the 50% off, then the men going to come in, right? And they're going to come in with the women, and they're going to hustle up. And even though they're getting 50% off of drinks, these are drinks that they would have never sold, right? And they're trying to get rid of. So it's a hustle. It says, behold, the day cometh cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners out of it. For the stars of the heavens and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. The sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine, right? You see a whole economic system this is going to be more than this. You're going to see a whole lot of these bars, these family-owned restaurants and bars and things like that. They're going to shut down. First of all, you destroyed the concept of couples coming in these places. Now they don't have none. It's going to be a whole lot of single women, right? And men pretty much cook at home. A lot of times when I go out and I pass by a Chick-fil-A or a McDonald's, I see these cars lined up. You know who in them cars? Women. Women don't even cook anymore. The natural use of the woman is gone. But you know what men are doing? Men ain't, in the majority, I saw some men in there, but in the majority, we don't eat fast food like that. They're the ones that's keeping, there's a mall built here in Baltimore called the Mondawmin Mall. It's that mall has the greatest, what you want to call it, they have the greatest funding, right? The greatest resources for women. Right, and they make more money in that mall than any mall in the country. And you go in that mall, it is nothing but women in that mall. They're the greatest consumers. That's the word I was looking for. And that's how they make their money. And if you look at Aaron Russo, what he was saying, he said the feminist movement is used to tax women. So they bring these styles out. They bring these hairstyles out. What do they call it? Trends. And every woman will weave. Every woman's buying makeup, right? She's buying the clothes. She want a new car. And they live in month to month, man. They live in day to day. All it takes is them to lose their job. They're in trouble. Right? And then got all the feminists on here trying to take up for it. Well, what about, I guess they're going to get rid of, somebody said they're going to get rid of senior citizens. Senior citizens ain't got nothing to do with gender. This is from the Gender Act, right? The Discrimination Act. Elderly people, the majority of them living off SSD checks and little pensions. And they come in all colors, genders, and everything else. Yeah, well, you know. All they need is, if that's the case, these men could dress up like transes and go in there and get 50% off too, right? Anyway, and I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity. And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, meaning their pomp, their excellency, right? And will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. I will make a man more precious than fine gold. There we go. Even a man that is a golden wedge of Ophir, right? He said he's going to make a man more precious than fine gold. So all this stuff is going to change, man. Therefore, I will shake the heavens and the earth shall remove out of her place in the wrath of the Lord of hosts and in the day of his fierce anger. And it shall come to, this is what Christian preachers aren't allowed to read to you, by the way. And it shall be as the chase roll, and as the sheep that no man taketh up. We see this in the Apocrypha, 2nd Esdras. They shall every man turn to his own people and flee to his own land, right? So these little spot corners stores that you have and those wig salons and all that ain't going to be there. You got women spending literally $300-400 on hairdos. I didn't know that. I just found that out. $500-600. That's why they walk around with those bonnets. Yeah. And then they commit adultery with other men to get the money to do it. Everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. Right? You join into these movements, you join into the system, you're going to die too. The children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished. Now, when you go into the context, and the Christian scholars will read this and say, well, this happened in, I guess, 70 AD or Babylon. We know Ecclesiastes 1:9 says that no new thing under the sun, everything returns again. Let's say that is the case. It's going to happen again, right? And we see it starting to turn up. There's no escape, you know? So all these things that you see, you know, even in movies and television, the woman is, they didn't gave the woman all the roles. right? Supergirl is stronger than Superman now. Like, come on. No wonder these women are like banshees going around jumping up, thinking they can fight and beat men. These women are in a narcissistic, right, altered reality. There's something that's extremely wrong with them. And there's no help. And the government is not holding these women accountable for shooting up shit, killing Jake, busting out windows, and they'll just give them a check. Because they understand if we destroy them, we're going to destroy this whole nation of people. But be not deceived, because the Lord is raising up his elect, 144,000 men, by the way, and the sisters that's going to follow these men. And in the end, there will be a whole lot of women waking up, right? Oh, everything's going to go back. Everything's going to go back like it was before even the destruction. Isaiah 4:1, 7 women shall take hold of one man. So when you see 144,000 men and the elect men, you got to know there's going to be more women. Since you women got all this pride, it's being lifted up and saying it's about the woman. All right. There's going to be a lot of you women who are going to be joined to one man, and you're going to have to deal with it. That's all I have on that. Shalom.